So I'm looking for a man who's at least between 5'8" to 6 foot tall. I'm also looking for a man who has at least a 700 credit score and who makes at least $200,000. If he does not make that much, at least show me that you have a plan and that you are following your plan to get there.
Greetings, you polite savages, and welcome to another Tip Talk.
How old are you?
36.
36. What you do for a living?
I am a serial entrepreneur. I own a salon. I'm a real estate investor, and I also have a school.
What kind of school?
I teach estheticians and beauticians how to successfully make six figures while waxing.
So I don't know if you noticed that, but Kendra rolls her eyes when she starts listing all of the things she does for a living. And quite honestly, Kendra does it because she just told her, like, I'm a real estate investor, I'm a serial entrepreneur, I do this, and I teach a school. I also have 2 kids, by the way. I think that when you come with all of this energy, and yes, I mean, you could be doing a lot of things, but when you come with all of this masculine energy, I mean, Kendra knows men don't care all of these things, what you do, like what you do for a living. Hey, you know, I'm an investor, I got a couple of things going on, but
Do you have any children?
I do. I have 2. I have a son who's 15 and my daughter's 8.
Son 15, daughter's 8. 36, Sagittarius. She owns a salon, real estate investor, owns her own school. 15 to 8. Do your kids have the same dad?
No, they do not. My daughter is from my ex-husband.
Okay, you was married. When did you get divorced?
At one point, what I hear as a dude listening to this is, how are you gonna have any time to foster our relationship? So you got 2 kids, so I know I ain't coming before you, 2 kids, and then you got 3 jobs. So what am I, number 9th on the list? I don't know, it's not looking good.
What kind of man you looking for?
So I'm looking for a man who's at least between 5'8" to 6 foot tall. It does not matter his complexion or his nationality. I'm also looking for a man who has at least a 700 credit score and who makes at least $200,000. If he does not make that much, at least show me that you have a plan and that you are following your plan to get there.
Okay. So
this lady's a little bit younger than me, and right now I'm gonna have to say, stop the timeline. I cannot believe this. She's asking for a 200K man, or a man that is on his way to making 200K. She wants the blueprint, the plan. But the thing is, she already has 2 children. Who is she to think that she can make these outrageous demands of a guy that's trying to make his way to the top? Because this guy is not gonna have enough time for her and her outlandish demands.
Heather said you have to have at least a 700 credit score. Wait, repeat it one more time.
Yes, between 5'8" to 6 foot tall. Doesn't matter your nationality. It doesn't matter your complexion. You don't have to be from Kentucky. You can be from anywhere. I do love to travel. And someone who has at least a 700 credit score and makes $200,000. If he doesn't, at least have a plan to show me that you're going to get there and that you're following through with your
Ladies, when you make these long list of demands or these highfalutin requirements out of human beings that you want to date, I'm not naive enough to think that you think it's delusional. But have you logically looked up who you're asking for to see what ballpark you're going to be in? 60% of the United States population has a credit score above 700. Hey, good job. Totally logical. Financial responsibility is a must. I understand. Now you cut that down to 26% of the population is 5'8" or taller. So now you've taken out over 75% of the population that you can deal with. 6.44% of the population has the minimal, what you've said, your minimal financial requirement of $160,000 a year. Ma'am, honestly, do you actually believe that you qualify for that high-powered gentleman? And let me guess, you're gonna say, and he has to have time to, pay attention with me. He has to do this, he has to do that. One of the biggest things that it drives me crazy when folks ask for someone with a lot of time, but also making a lot of money. To make $160,000 a year, you're not working a 9 to 5. You're working a 9 to 9, 6 days a week, minimal.
And I hate to say it, but I'm gonna have to say it, ladies. On a Patrice O'Neal scale, she'd be lucky if she hit a number 15 on that scale. So for the demands that she's making, she doesn't have much ground to stand on. asking for a guy like that, describing what she wants in a man, making that much money, she's gotta have to level up in her personality, her appearance, and other factors that a man that's making that much money would value. So I'm sure I'm gonna get a lot of hate for this, ladies. But you know what? I'm broke, I'm dusty, so you guys wouldn't even rate me that high anyway. So all is fair in love and war. So it's just fine. But men value your appearance, they value your attributes, like your personalities, what you can do. Are you fit, feminine, beautiful, inspirational? Shout out to the late great godfather, Kevin Samuels. Because she needs to be a perfect complementary piece to a competent, intelligent, and assertive man.
Okay, 200K, is that negotiable or that's requirement?
It is negotiable. Again, like I said, as long as he has a plan to show me that he's going to get there and that he's following his plan.
Okay, so he can be ambitious with 200K in mind, but if he's not there, he has to be able to get there.
Yes.
Did he have kids already?
Yeah.
I mean, it reminds me of a situation when I first started making a little money. I was getting close to six figures, and I had a living girlfriend at the time. It was years ago. And she asked me, when was I going to be home? And I looked at her and said, I'm going to get home when I get home. And it was so unacceptable to her. And I was like, ma'am, I don't know if you understand this, but I know you enjoy spending this money that I make. But in order for me to make this money, I'm not punching a time clock. I'm here. I'm taking care of issues. And as the issues arrive, I do not leave until they're done. You have these high demands. You better be prepared to be not primary, not secondary, but a good tertiary in this man's life. Because in order for him to get this, he's going to have to really look out after himself and make sure that his self-care is 1,000. He's going to have to look after the job, because the job is going to be super demanding and you're going to fall after that. And you know that's not what you want to do.
He can have kids.
No, I had a hysterectomy, so I can't have any more kids.
But he can have kids.
That's fine. He can have kids. Yes, that's perfectly fine.
Did your children's fathers make 200K?
My son's father did.
Okay. He's good.
So this is one of those situations where, I mean, it's hard to tell somebody that you are disqualified because of natural instances, but ma'am, you want a man who makes all this money. He's going to most likely want a legacy, because that's the only upside to him getting married, is to have children that are his, that he can actually have legal claim to. See, when you have a kid and you're not married, you have no legal claim to him. You have a financial responsibility to pay child support, but not a legal claim. Those aren't even your kids. When you're married, at least when you go to court, if there is a divorce, they're at least your kids. And of course, we all know how the family court system treats men. So you're telling me that you have all of these demands. This person has to be financially stable and financially aware. He has to be in the top 26% of height, and he has to be in the top 6.44% of earners, and he don't even get a baby out of it. At some point, you got to make it make sense.
Do you have any more appearance requirements?
If you're not a businessman, at least be a man with a business mind.
Kendra Cousins, we'll talk about your 200K request. Do you want to say anything to that?
Well, like I said, it's negotiable. It doesn't have to be 200. It could be 100,000. It could be 90, 80,000. That's not a requirement.
But is it 80,000 and that's what it could be, or it has to be 80,000 with the ambition to get to at least 200K?
Yes.
So it couldn't just be 80,000 and that's just what it is. Or
No.
could it?
No.
No. So if you're not at 200K, as long as you are on your road there, that could be. But you have to be on your road there. Okay.
200K is a big ask, and a woman would need all the attributes that the man values. So let's be totally honest, ladies and gentlemen. She's making demands like as if she was a 24, 25-year-old woman. That's on a Patrice O'Neal scale of at least a 20 and above. I really think this is head in the clouds, magical manifesting, wanting to have it all, falling flat on its face. I'm sorry, lady, but you're being delusional. I mean, hell, I want Rihanna, before she was married, of course, all due respect. And I want supermodels too. But my income level right now, is not looking too great. So I'm gonna have to settle with what I got. This is where men are more realistic. And being a man that's realistic, I know I have to work hard, like all you other guys out there, to achieve greater things beyond ourselves. The byproduct, the great byproduct of that, is having a wider selection of mates.
And looking at the comment section, they roasting her. I mean, and these are not men roasting her; these are women. A young lady said, "You want a 200K man, but the background, your kitchen background, is giving me restricted income vibes," or something like that. Make it make sense. I mean, I know that's tough and clowning on a lady, but this is what happens when you put yourself out there in that nature, asking for such outlandish demands. People who are more logical make fun of you.
The best way, ladies, for you to be able to attract the man that you want is to analyze yourself. Do you have the skills, the attributes to attract the man that you have? Journaling down your book there. Take a realistic look at yourself and your expectations. The only way that you can find a compatible man for you is to having to understand what the average man wants. Because if you can't fulfill the needs of an average man, then how do you expect to fulfill the needs, the expectations, the wants, the desires of a high value man?
The ethos of the modern day woman leads to these situations. And the ethos happens to be that no matter what, I'm a 10, I feel like a 10, who's gonna check me? You can't tell me I'm not a 10. But looking at this lady, and not to make fun of her, but to be honest, sis, on a Patrice O'Neal scale of 0 to 30, you might be an 11 at best. And this is not to say anything. I mean, there's average looking or below average looking people all over the world. And that doesn't mean that you don't deserve a relationship. But what it does mean is that when you demand the higher top echelon earner in the United States, therefore the world, that you, my dear, are delusional.
Ladies, it's a slap in the face. All of us, air quotes, average guys out there, when we have to listen to your unrealistic expectations and dating standards, when you yourself barely fit the standard of average.
Ma'am, you please don't make me say it.
I really just wanted some advice. I love your
I'm giving you advice, but you're not taking it. The advice is, ma'am, you're average looking at best.
That's all I got for you, you polite savages. Like and subscribe, hit us up on all social media networks. Any suggestions for things that you want us to cover, drop it on the gram, THPP Network, especially from our members. Our TIPTube membership is very affordable. It's like a cup of coffee. And as always, ask yourself one burning question. Can you handle the tip? We're out. This is the Happiness Podcast. I'm Grover.
Oh, yeah, it's my turn. I'm Scotty.
This motherfucker right here, boy. Leave your comments and like and subscribe on YouTube. Booty in your face. We found true happiness.